Pregnancy 1 versus Pregnancy 2. You're gonna think that they'll be very similar, but there are so many differences. I'm gonna tell you my differences in this video. Hello and welcome to another video. It is an early morning for me, but I wanted to get this video filmed and out before the kids even get out of bed because things are a little bit different with two. A little harder to get things like this done throughout the day. If you've been liking my mom content, please give it a like and subscribe right now. Now let's get into this video. Ever since I've had two kids, one of the main questions that I get from moms is, man, what was the difference in your pregnancies between 1 and 2? And honestly, there was quite a few differences that were maybe subtle that until I really think about it, I don't notice, but there were also a lot of similarities as well. So basically today I just want to go over a few of the main things that were different and similar with my pregnancies. Number 1, first trimester. I know for most people that is the hardest trimester. For me, it definitely is the hardest trimester. Third trimester is hard because you're just trying to like get the baby to come out of you. So like you're waiting and anticipating, but honestly, the first trimester is so difficult because I get morning sickness really bad. With my first son, I didn't even know I was pregnant till almost 8 weeks. So I didn't get any nausea until about 9 weeks, and I probably had it from 9 weeks to about 15, 16 weeks. With my second baby though, I knew already at 3.5 weeks that I was pregnant. I mean, that was insanely quick, which was in a way something I don't want with my next baby because I'd rather be surprised a little bit and not know, because man, knowing just makes it so much longer, and those extra weeks really do add up. I started getting nauseous at about 5 weeks with my second baby, and I was kind of shocked how quickly it came on. So, you know, that happened, but I was also nauseous all the way into, again, like the 15th week of pregnancy. So it was a little bit into the second trimester before I even got rid of it. And one thing for me that I think made the nausea worse with my second is just running around with my first and like being more tired, waking up for him, and just having a little bit more demands in my day, I think made me just a little more worn down, which then made me a little more nauseous. And who knows, maybe your hormones are higher with your second. I know everybody's different, but honestly, the first trimester was pretty similar once the nausea hit on, because I am not a morning sickness person. I am an all-day sickness person. So I will get morning sickness, afternoon sickness, and nighttime sickness, and sleeping sickness, where I'll wake up in the middle of the night sick. So first trimesters are not fun, but they weren't fun with either. And not to scare you, everyone has different first trimesters, so you might have no symptoms. I know plenty of people who have none, and I wish I was them. So the second difference between my first and second pregnancy is I was super far along before I even got an actual baby bump. I was about 5.5, 6 months. Now I'd gained some weight, and you could see that I was like a little wider and definitely looked like I was pregnant or gained weight or something, but the actual baby bump didn't form until a little bit later on at 5 to 6 months. Pretty common for your first pregnancy when your abs are still intact, and if you were pretty fit, which, you know, I was pretty fit at that time too, so the baby just didn't show nearly as much. But once I showed at 6 months, it was a very quick incline to then get that bump, which then caused more pain on my round ligaments and my back, because I think I grew so fast that my body just wasn't adapting to it as quickly as it could if it would have been more gradual. So with my second baby, already at 4 months, I had a little like baby pooch belly. I mean, it wasn't like huge out, but I had like a little bump in my pooch that I didn't have before. And I know that's because my abs already were, you know, separated at one time. I also was only 7 months postpartum when I became pregnant. So it had, my body didn't have that much it had to remember about being pregnant, and wasn't probably 100% healed anyway. Even though I felt healed, I know there's more going on the abs and inside than I myself know on the outside here. So it was, I think that definitely had a mix to what was going on there. Personally, I liked showing a little earlier. You got to wear your cute maternity clothes longer, and people knew you were pregnant, so they treated you like you were pregnant, which is usually better. Not in all cases, but most cases. So yeah, I kind of like that. I was lucky with my first, though. I didn't want to tell work until I was farther along that I was actually pregnant. So it was nice to hide it then for that one reason. The third thing is my exercise routine was actually a little easier with my second than my first. So with my first, I was running 4 days a week in the morning, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning because I had an office job that was 7 to 5 or 8 to 5, depending on the day. So it was a long, grueling job in a little box in my office. Glad I don't work there anymore. It was a good company. I liked it, but good to be working from home and moving on from that. But because I was getting up so early to run, I was only putting in about 3 or 4 miles max. And I mean, I'm saying my mileage went from 8 miles in the morning to, by the time I was done with my first trimester, probably about 4 miles. By the time I was done with my second trimester, I was doing 2 to 3 miles. And by the time I hit 8 months, I already was done running for pregnancy, and I started riding the bike after work inside the house. So a little bit different there. Also different times of years that I had the baby. It was November in my 9th month of pregnancy with my first, so it was colder outside too. I didn't want to wake up and like run in the cold. I mean, who wants to do that? And my treadmill was broken, so I wasn't able to use that. So maybe I would have continued running if I could have done that, but who knows. I was in a lot of pain just with my round ligaments too, so I didn't want to push it too much. But with my second, I ran all the way until 2 days before I had the baby. I was out there with the stroller with James inside, pushing him down the bike trail, and I was actually keeping up 3 miles consistently all through my 9th month. So, and I was getting 12-mile weeks in, which I was very happy about at that point. Almost getting 50 miles a month for being that pregnant. I felt very, very good. And I think, like I've said in other videos, it translated to me having a very quick recovery and getting back into exercise super fast. Too fast, most people would say, because I had kept it up for so long. So yeah, the easiness as far as exercise went was just easier with my second. I think I was used to being pregnant. I wasn't scared about exercising while pregnant, which I was with my first. You know, you don't know, you're getting a new mom, you don't want to push yourself too hard. And I think it just came more naturally because I'd done it before. The next thing is how quick the pregnancies went. My first pregnancy seemed like I was pregnant for 7 years. I swear, I felt like I was pregnant forever. Now, again, factors involved are I worked an office job. I worked a lot of long hours and had to drive back and forth to these hours. And I also didn't have another baby I was running around with, which if you have a child already, you know that your time goes from being, oh, kind of fast, you know, the years seem like they go by, to being, man, I blinked and it's been 1 year and I have a 1-year-old right now. So that happens when you have kids. So things go a lot quicker that way. And I think that's the main thing that makes things go quicker. And also just feeling better in general and just being like more knowing what's going to happen. Even though all pregnancies are different, you kind of have a little bit of a, okay, it's the second trimester, this and this are happening in the body. Okay, you know, maybe random things will pop up that I don't know about, but most things I've been through, right? And for me, that is the case. Most things I had been through, so I didn't have any really big surprises pop up. Except for that, I got really itchy feet. And there's something that happens in your 3rd trimester there where like you have to have an emergency like birth if you get these itchy feet. It starts with a C. I don't know the exact name, so I don't want to say it. I'll put it across the screen. But I thought I'd had that, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm 35 weeks and I'm all itchy, what? And they did blood tests. I didn't, but I think it actually had to do with the fact that it was like turning to spring and allergens were out, so that my skin was drier, so I was just itchier in general. But yeah, quickness of pregnancy, second pregnancy went so much faster. I feel like 9 months was only like 4 or 5 months, which I'll take that. If my third pregnancy can seem like 1 month, oh, let's do it. Let's do that. The last thing I want to talk about is recovery. So my recovery with my second baby was 100% better, nicer, quicker, more relaxing, and just exactly what I imagined I wanted for recovery. With my first, I had a 1st degree, almost 2nd degree tear. He had a huge head, so maybe that had to do with it. Also, just felt more tired and a little more run down than I did with my second. With my second, I had no tear, easy birth, and my first birth was pretty easy too. It was just, you know, that tear, that makes a difference. When you get a tear, it makes a big difference with your recovery. Remember that. So look up how not to get tears. Does it work? I don't know, but look it up. So yeah, with my second, no tear, super easy recovery. Only bled for a couple days. With my first, I bled for like 6 weeks. I mean, that's a long time to like bleed after having a baby. But like I said, with my second, I only had heavy blood for like 1 day, and then I had about 4 or 5 days where it was like nothing, very light, hardly anything. And I think it just has to do with your body has had a baby. It knows what to expect. And like with me, my kids are less than 17 months apart, so my body really knew what to expect at that point. And then, like I said, I got back to running really, really quick. In less than a week, I already was walking with my son in the Burley. With my first, I waited till 2.5 weeks 2 or 2.5 weeks to get back to running. And I did it super slow, very gradual. With my second, I was pretty rapid to get back into like trying to get records, which, you know, like I said, I ran through my whole pregnancy, so I think that made it a little easier to get back into this. So if you have been exercising through your pregnancy, you know, it probably will be easier to recover in general as far as that exercise goes. But with your body, really your birth has a lot to do with it, how rapid it is, if you tear, things like that. Well, thank you for watching this video. I assume if you watched it, maybe you're having your second baby, you're planning on getting pregnant, and I hope you like this video, and I hope it gives you a little insight about, hey, maybe it's gonna be a little easier the second pregnancy. Now, like I said, all pregnancies are different, but hey, I'm rooting for you. I hope it's easier, and I hope that you just have a beautiful and quick delivery and pregnancy, and your baby is just so healthy and beautiful. Well, if you like this video, remember, like it, subscribe, ring that bell, and if you want more content from me, vlogs, mom content, tips, tricks, you know, whatever, make sure you subscribe, and hey, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.